How we all
What's
doing,
good?
everybody? This is me, Perfect Welch, and
Still here?
Blitz. And we thought, since yes, since we did one, we're deciding to bring back the Good Taste podcast, and we haven't done one since January. So we were going to do it often, just kind of such. So yesterday I had a good day. Hold on.
Good birthday. A good birthday, so.
Yeah. But this is I'll get to it in a few, but I'm getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, share screen. Hey, what's up, TJ? What's up?
Hello, good evening.
This is what I had. I was about to show the cast what I ate on birthday. It's an ice cream cookie. I mean, you can see a little bit of the cookie right there, and once you look at it, it'll never get out of your head. Once you look at this picture again, this is really good.
I am very jealous. Not playing. Not playing. I'm playing. No,
Well, I mean, I can't blame you. Pretty good. It's pretty good.
I bet it does.
Food is
It does look good. Look good.
Yeah, it was good. I saw it earlier, so.
for watching. That's actually pretty good. Let me refresh in case that number is wrong. I don't see anyone in the chat yet.
Still sad about today.
Yeah, no Slurpee.
Yeah.
And slushy.
Where I'm at, I guess everybody got it earlier before I did, and then they were out. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
how was your birthday, by the way?
Oh, it was pretty good. I got to spend time with my family.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Had fun. Hopefully this year will be good for you.
Yeah, the rest of the year, yeah. Well, I mean, time flies by so fast,
I agree.
Let's see who else is gonna join in. I sent Jared the link, and he's online, so he should probably be here anytime soon. But you know Jared, he sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. Like I give him the link, and he just kind of shows up in the chat. I don't know if he's watching this, but we got 4 viewers, which is amazing. But what have you guys been up to?
Nothing. Enjoying life.
Enjoying life? Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's life. Always.
Yeah.
Enjoying that summer life.
Yeah, working crap.
Oh, what's up, Jared? Can anyone call me? I'm gonna invite you to it. I'm gonna just add you to this. Because I did send a link, Jared. Did you click on that? Let me type it in.
Give me a second. I'll be back. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, it took long? Well, I'll just invite you then. I guess you have computer or phone lagging problems. Alright. Added you to the call. So just get in. Yeah, I hate lagging problems like that, man. Top 10 demolitions going wrong. I'm just kind of reading recommended videos
I'm here,
hey,
guys.
what's up, man?
Thanks,
What's up,
man.
Jeff?
How can I do without you, man? I did everything to join in myself, but it just took so long on my phone.
Oh, your phone. Yeah. I mean, do you have any other problems with that on any with like? Because my phone's actually been doing the same thing. Like, if I get a link, it's only on YouTube chats though. Like, I've actually gotten the Google Hangouts link on a YouTube chat, and it didn't go up to Google Hangouts. It just, oh hey, what's up, Trevor? You go to Google Hangouts. It just went to, like the Google App Store. Like, I clicked this link to join a call, not go to the stupid App Store. I already got the freaking stupid Google Hangouts thing downloaded.
Yeah, man, like that should piss me off though.
Like, it's something that wouldn't seem that complicated, but in reality it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it works in Hangout links, though. Thanks for joining, Trevor.
No problem.
What have you two been up to?
Nothing really.
Nothing? I see, you know, what topics do you guys want to talk about? What have you had on your mind?
Man. Man, it's in the tip of my tongue, man.
But you just can't think about it.
It is all everything sucks. I mean,
Tip of your tongue, but you just can't. I've been there before.
Sports?
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about what you want to talk about. Sports.
You know, there's 2 more games left for the FIFA World Cup. England is going to be placed into the 3rd place game with Belgium, which is coming this Saturday. The final game is on Sunday, which will now be between France and Croatia. You know, Croatia has never been in the World Cup, but this is their first time, probably, I would say. You know, to be honest, the last 2 World Cups have been disappointing. Final wise.
I can see what you mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut off short. I gotta help out someone right now.
All right, come back if you can. You have a good one.
Thank
you, David.
That's pretty much it. Say what you got to say, any of you.
when the NFL season start?
NFL season?
Yeah.
It starts on September 6th.
Yep. The preseason starts August, so
Yeah.
Early August. So.
The preseason's kind of boring.
Yeah, I know.
September 6th, 4 days before my birthday.
Oh.
Oh, cool. I've actually been, watching some, I said last time that I was watching some old Mad TV videos, but I've also been watching a lot of, cool, music videos from, really cool bands, freaking Green Day. I've been listening to a lot of Green Day and Sum 41.
How about Yellow Card? How does Yellow Card look to you?
They're pretty good. You know, I've also been listening to some Iron Maiden. You know, been getting into a lot of like metal too recently because of Metal Ben. You know, I like his channel. I liked his Metal Ben mobile. It's like he's Batman. To the Batmobile.
You know, like what Batman said in one of those Lego games. He says Batman doesn't listen to music.
Well, I mean, I can understand because I mean, like, he's a superhero. He's got to like listen to what the supervillains are up to. I assume he listens to the radio and listens to what they're up to, and hears about what they're doing, and is trying. He's trying to hum down, and he's not trying to focus on music because that would distract him, and you know one of the villains might catch up to him. Who knows? I was also listening to Smash Mouth. One of my favorite songs of theirs is "Walking on the Sun."
You know, music is just dead, man.
Yeah,
music is dead.
I know, especially when you talk about the good music of like
metal's dead. Metal's dead. You know, annoying metalheads just ruined metal. They killed metal. Metal's dead.
Yeah, you don't really see when it comes to people of music. You don't see many people talking about like modern metal that much anymore. Let's be honest. No one really does, but back in like the, you know, maybe even like kind of like 70s, but mainly the 80s, 90s, and you know even a bit of the 2000s too. Metal was just huge, but now it's like, and then you also got these metalheads. I agree with what like Corey said. Like you have them like trying to say, "Oh, it should stay underground." Like why? Just no. It's like trying to tell someone that they shouldn't be reaching to the top if they're like, I don't know, I guess practicing on a sport and they're trying to be the best sports player they can.
To be honest, though, I would rather have metal bands stay underground unless you want more glam bands from the 80s or new metal bands, which were horrible.
You know, well, I've been working out to hip hop music too, but not today's mainstream trash. But
I mean, I'd rather just have rock and metal replace rap and hip hop.
What I mean, but you know what I mean by mainstream that are too poppy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like Drink.
Fuck that corny cheesy ass bitch. I hate that motherfucker. I pass it.
Never got that.
Drake is overrated.
Yeah, he sure is.
Neither did I. I mean,
God plan. Oh my god, it's just so annoying.
I'd rather listen to Kanye West, and I don't even like Kanye West.
Kanye, I hate even more. Kanye, I don't like either.
Well, I mean, I don't like either of them, but I'd rather he's kind of a lesser of two bad music, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I guess I wouldn't blame you, though.
I was never the biggest fan. I was never the biggest fan of Kanye, but I'd rather take him over Drake.
I would too, honestly.
Yeah, I think we all would.
The rappers I listen to are DMX, Onyx, Wu-Tang Clan, 3 6 Mafia.
Oh yeah, the guys who did Mark Henry's theme song.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
they
that
literally
was awesome.
did.
I know.
Well,
we know, Trevor.
Let's not get into that wrestling thing, right?
All right.
You know, well, I can understand why metal is not in the mainstream. Well, I'm not going to be sensitive about it. Well, man,
I just don't get how you can't get into heavy metal. Well, that's just me. Thinking, I don't know how you can consider the stuff that's on the radio now as good, but again, all personal preference.
I don't think any one of us here at least is very good. And what's up, Lordy Mel? How are you doing?
Who's in the chat?
Lordy Mello. So like, I've also been like just kind of like just seeing some like the bullshit and like the hypocrisy, of like the Sonic fan base. Because you all remember when Sonic Unleashed came out, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was like trashing the game, like, "Oh, this is a terrible game. What was Sega thinking? Turning Sonic into a werehog? And oh my God, Chip is so annoying." And it's like,
Honestly, I
yeah,
have no
nobody.
problem with the game.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna judge anyone based on their opinion, but I'm just kind of like stating facts here. But and then nowadays, ever since like last year, I believe, 2017. It's like people are now like praising the game like it's the second coming of the Messiah or the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
It's like, now people are saying, oh, there was no Knuckles and Shadow, but that was good because I don't like Knuckles and Shadow. Or, oh, Chip is so adorable. Or like,
I remember liking Shadow the Hedgehog growing up, but I probably should replay it in order to see if it still holds up for me or not.
well, I mean, to me, Sonic Unleashed, it's not a bad game. Like, the story is actually pretty good, and
It's a
the
really
daytime
weird,
stages.
somewhat interesting concept to turn Sonic into a werehog.
And let's not forget that it did introduce the boost formula, and I like I like all the boost games except for Forces. That's the only one I don't like. But
Another rapper who was also a boxer that I listened to was Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr. Oh yeah,
Yeah, Roy Jones Jr.
I haven't listened to him in a while.
Sorry to
I
get
mean,
off topic, but
it's okay.
It's fine.
It's okay. We're just talking about stuff. I mean, I even just named this podcast 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
7-Eleven. Did you have something over there at 7-Eleven?
Oh no! I just named it that because that's what today is. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, July 11th. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Free Slurpee Day.
I played
Yeah,
WWE SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, so
that was awesome. That game's awesome.
I'm Brock Lesnar against Cage, Jeff Hardy, and Hell in a Cell. On the King of the Ring.
2007 was the last great game of wrestling.
Yeah, I got that game too.
I liked SmackDown Raw 2010 along with WWE 13 and 2K14 along with 2011 personally.
What's up, Kamki? Quality doesn't matter anymore in 2010s. Yeah, that's pretty true. I mean, there are some good things that come out once in a while, but it's not enough to like save the 2010s. I mean, like, there are so many amazing movies I can name from back in the 80s and back in the 90s too. Like Future, I don't know if his video on this is still up, but I remember Future King's video on like the 90s being the golden age of the movie. He like listed like at least 3 or 4 different films from like each year, and a film that everybody remembers and everyone knows.
I actually would personally say the 80s is the golden decade for movies.
I can see it there because, I mean, especially in horror, it was the golden age because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that the debut of Freddy and Jason in their golden age?
Yeah, I believe so. I remember
Michael
the
Myers
first.
in the late 70s.
Yeah, Michael Myers was late.
I know
and
that
Leatherface
Freddy
were like late
Krueger though
70s.
started in the 80s.
Well, I mean, I think Friday the 13th might have started in the late 70s, but I remember, like, the first movie, it was about his mother, and then the second movie is about him, and he got the mask in the third movie.
Yeah.
And the machete, too.
You know, they should have done a crossover with three dangerous horror characters. I'm talking about Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers. What do you think?
I would have kind of just preferred Jason and Michael because those two have a lot in common, but you know. Hey, Hey, it would be. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't be cool. It would be pretty cool.
And we would see all three guys fighting, and both Jason and Michael cut Freddy's arm.
Yeah, that would be. I hate how people try to defend the 2010s and say people bash on nostalgia's hard. These people have shit. Yeah, it's like I'm like nobody said the 90s or the 80s or any of the past decades were perfect. They're just better than today. It's like just because I like something from back then doesn't mean I like the other thing from back then. Like a perfect example is what Michael Mike brought up. Is like he liked cars and music and such. He liked the kind of design of cars in the 40s and music and movies. But that doesn't mean he agreed with, the racism at that time, or the war or depression at that time. Oh, Trevor left. Oh,
Back.
welcome back, Trevor. What did it just kick you out?
No, I just joined on my phone instead.
Yeah. So like, yeah, the 90s did have some bad stuff, but for the most part, it was
movies
good.
fell off around like the mid to late 90s, I'd say.
Like what year?
At least in
1995 or 1996?
I can't really specifically pinpoint though, but somewhere between those lines.
But speaking of 90s and movies, I know I might sound like a fraud for this, but I just watched, the first Matrix movie.
I still haven't seen the first Matrix movie, so don't feel.
Yeah. What about you two? Have you guys seen it?
Yeah, time by time.
But hey, Lordy, Kamki, if you two want to join in, I don't know if you two are still here, but if you two want to join in, I'll send a link. But yeah, I do like the first Matrix. It's a pretty good movie. I mean, people tell me, I've seen it. It's very hype movie too. But I do like the special effects. For 1999, they've actually aged pretty well. Special
Seeing
effects.
as every movie now tries to be the Matrix.
Man,
Yeah,
I can't believe it's been almost 20 years.
I know, it's like 20 years since the Matrix. Like I remember I was telling my family that when it was Sonic's 25th anniversary, Sonic is 25 years old, and like, really, damn, that's old. I remember playing the games as a kid.
And Matrix was 17. And the Matrix was 17 years old.
Yeah, right next year it's going to be 20 years old. Like, jeez.
It's crazy how time flies by that fast.
And like how, last year, Mortal Kombat was 25 years old. And they were like, man, I remember playing the older games in the arcades, like, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they're like, I can't believe it's that old.
The first X-Men movie is almost 20 years. 16 and 19, does it make it nearly 20?
You mean like the 2000 movie?
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah, it's actually going to be turning 18 in 18. Couple days.
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah, but we don't celebrate movies that don't have a number that's 5 or 0. That isn't 5 or 0 behind it, because 5 or 0 is just, I don't know what it is about 5 and 0.
It seems like they're the special numbers.
Yeah, there's special numbers. 5 is half a decade, and 0 is an entire decade.
And 10 makes it a full decade.
Well, yeah, but 10 has a 0 behind it, so yeah. Hey, what's up, Raimondo? Playing WWE Day of Reckoning? Yeah. It's like, back when, the overrated 2K games, like, I like WWE 2K14, but after that, it's just like they all
The only reason that game was good was simply because that was a game that THQ was making before they went bankrupt. THQ just made the whole game, while 2K just picked it up and said it's theirs.
Yeah. And every game, it's like it's been the same game since. Like they might add a few new characters and such, but it's like it's nothing special.
There's no charisma. No charisma.
We're not talking about actual wrestling, Jared. We're talking about the games.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. Well, the new superstars that are added to the game that have no charisma. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And it's like, and I guess they kind of mattered more back then because, wrestlers kind of did have more charisma back in, like,
No, it's just
back
that
when-
like THQ.
You know-
It's just that like 2K does not know how to make good games anymore.
Yeah, it's that sports. Sports, like,
What about
fucking
EA Sports?
Fuck extra ass.
well, at least they're not as bad as EA.
EA are the gaming devils.
Yeah, they're pretty much the modern day LJN. They hoard licenses.
Even more. No, they charge like crazy. They like thing with like LGN. At least they actually didn't force like people to pay in order to play a video game, even after they buy it. Like that's what EA does.
Sports games are just all repetitive. They've been repetitive for 9 years now.
Yeah, it's like every Madden game since like the fucking PS1 N64 days. They feel like the same game every year. It's just better graphics.
Yeah.
That could be arguably said for like any video game ranging from wrestling to sports as well. That could be
Correct
said for
me if
video
I'm
games.
wrong, Grimondo, but didn't Aki, the people who made like WWF No Mercy, which is a really good game, and I think they made WrestleMania 2000, didn't they go out of business? I could be wrong, but I think they did. But yeah, I would love it if they came back. But the thing is, we don't know if the same people are there anymore. But what I would like is I would like a game that kind of like that's about like ECW and their history and their wrestlers, and a game that's about WCW and their history and their wrestlers. It'd be a nice breath of fresh air for once.
Mm-hmm.
I feel another portion of why wrestling games now, well, WWE games specifically, games now suck is probably because WWE is like really kid friendly and stuff, and that they have to try not to be like that they can do much more with the games than they could.
I know,
Is it
it's like
lacking variety. They're lacking variety.
I'm not gonna say that all they have to do is turn like TV 14 automatically because like there's gonna have to be a shit ton of work if WWE wants to redeem itself. They can't just turn TV 14, but yeah, that does limit like the potential and the possibilities of what wrestling can do. And besides, why does wrestling of all things need to be fucking PG?
Because it
Like-
was in the 80s, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it kind of worked back in the 80s because, that was the 80s. You could get away with that kind of shit.
Apparently, like, if even they decide to go to the TV 14, I'm still not falling for it.
Yeah, it's like, because I gave them one last chance with the new era. Remember when they were, like, introducing, like, the new era in 2016?
Back in
Like,
2016,
this is going to be so hype. And then, like, after the draft, they just, like, oh, gosh, that was so cringy. And they screwed it up. They completely screwed up the draft. And, like, all right, that's it. WWE has no way.
And this is what I had to say, but even way before the draft was going to happen. And if they're going to go to TV 14, and this was my word, bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know people were excited for the draft at the time, but it's like, really, what was it going to do? Like, I mean, I was expecting this new era to, like, WWE was going to step out of the times and do something new and original, but nope, they're the same thing they've been for the last 10 years. At this point, it's not even worth complaining about it. It's like what Jared said. It's just bullshit. They only did it so they could try to get, like, fans in who wanted to see a redemption, but it didn't work, so Yeah. And
All
the
right.
what's up, Jared?
It all started with, when the competition with WCW coming to an end. What else? Or the Benoit tragedy.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was just
God.
And then 1 year
that was
later.
a big part too.
But it,
I mean, it's just that when any kind of like thing like that happens, where someone in the business does something crazy like that or something along those lines, it's like it just ruins everything.
Yep.
but it didn't turn PG for just about a year. Like 12, 13 months.
Yeah.
And even shortly after the Benoit thing, there were still some edgy storylines. I would admit that.
Yeah, there's
2008
some-
was like a really edgy year at the beginning of it, like with the whole Jericho and Michaels feud.
Yeah, that was a pretty good
Oh,
feud.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris Jericho, the next Shawn Michaels and shit.
Yeah, it's like we just don't get that many good feuds or storylines.
Like The Rock and Triple H, for example.
Yeah, it's like back then we used to have a lot of guys like Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold, Mick Foley, Undertaker, Kane. You know, all those guys. But it's like now, like they're probably not going to have a next like Rock or Stone Cold for a while. Definitely
never will
not
be.
anytime soon. Maybe even never. Indie wrestling is boring and overrated. Like, yeah, the thing with indie wrestling is that it's like it mostly focuses on wrestling. And yeah, while we do need good wrestling, it's like there's other stuff I do want to see too, like good promos, good storylines, good feuds, good character.
But there's none of that.
Like, I mean, it's evolved from being just wrestling, just generic wrestling like it was ages ago. It's now like a kind of like a TV show, I guess, where you have all these characters and such. It's like when I've heard people say like, oh, when the 2010s ends, everyone's gonna be like, oh, I missed the 2010s and oh, and it was so great. Like, no, when the 2010s ends, no one's gonna remember it. They're gonna be glad they got out of that bad decade.
There's plenty of people that miss the PG era, funny enough.
Well, we're still into PG era, so
Not entirely.
well, I mean, the whole new era thing that I was talking about, that was just a lie. It's like what Jared said, bullshit.
Well,
Yeah, how would you
like? It's still like a quote unquote new era. It's just that like that's how they build it up to be. The era being like they're more realistic now. That is pretty much what they're trying to get at.
I didn't watch the show on TV at that time, but back in September of 2016, when Raw got a 1.75 rating in one of BDF Network's videos. Oh my God.
Yeah.
if you get a 1.75 rating, that shows you need to improve. But Vince just doesn't care anymore. If he doesn't care,
because he knows that no matter what happens, he'll be making a ton of money no matter what happens to the show. When the day Vince realized that he could just sit there and watch the company do whatever and still make a profit, that's pretty much what ruined WWE as a whole.
You know, the only way it's gonna get better is if someone who gives a damn buys out the company and they take control of it.
Or if some magical reason Vince decides to lend the company to somebody.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna do that. We're gonna need fucking fairies to do that fucking shit.
Yes. Just magical fairies that come out and just make him think, well, you know, I should just give up the company and give it to Shane or something.
Yeah, something
He
like
won't
that.
save it
What
either.
if
He
What
won't
if
save it
Disney bought TNA? No, we don't need Disney buying out any more shit. They already bought out Marvel. They already bought out Star Wars. They bought out Fox. They don't need to be buying anything else. All right.
Hey,
They're
maybe
not
they'll
going
actually
to.
make wrestling something worth watching after all. They're pretty much got their hands on like the most like the hottest properties in media right now, Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah, but okay, if Disney buys like TNA or WWE or something, and they somehow magically redeem wrestling, I am gonna take back everything I said about that comment. And I'll actually apologize to Disney. I'll actually make a video, apologizing. But like, I don't think Disney would even have.
I think another reason why wrestling really isn't like popular anymore is because just it's not like the cool thing anymore. It's like people have just moved on to other more interesting things, I guess.
This is why they're getting into sports. They're getting into real sports.
This is why they're getting stuff like Marvel, sports, Star Wars, Disney,
DC,
all these other
DC
things
Comics.
all these things are just out, and people are more interested and invested in it now. It's what's cool now. What in wrestling isn't.
It's like
That's another
exactly like during the mid 90s, 93, 94, 95. It's like no one gave a shit about WWE back then. Sure, there were a couple good guys like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Owen Hart, Yokozuna, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall, but still,
Diesel
people
was
cared more about.
trash.
Yeah, but everything else was bad. Everything else was bad.
I loved all those guys in my childhood, but right now they don't know what they're talking about. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, I think Shawn has just given up on wrestling altogether. I mean, Owen Hart's dead, so is Yokozuna, so you can't really say anything about them. And I haven't watched like any shoot interviews with the other guys, so I can't say for sure. But yeah, like back to topic, it's like people gave more shit about movies like The Lion King and such that at that time instead of, WWE people or or well what they were called WWF or video games like the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. People cared more about that during those years instead of the WWE. What's up? It's like everybody just kind of got quiet.
Because they're trying to think of something else.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I mean,
let's talk about Dragon Ball Super movies, that Broly thing, whatever.
Oh yeah, that Broly thing. I'm hoping that's good.
Oh yeah, I guess you could say some anime is more popular and more people are more invested in it than wrestling. You could also say that probably. I see plenty of people obsessing over Dragon Ball Super.
And also action cartoons it is more entertaining than wrestling.
I'm talking about things that are more popular and people are more invested in than wrestling. Like, what's popular now?
Yeah.
Cartoons, like, now that Teen Titans Go is, like, the only thing that's ever on Cartoon Network now, and Nickelodeon doesn't really have anything, like, huge on there. cartoons are kind of like irrelevant to like the mainstream media now, mostly because of the oversaturation of a lot of shows. Like before, like Steven Universe was getting like a lot of popularity along with like shows like Regular Show and Adventure Time. They were becoming really popular. Then Teen Titans Go just completely washed all of that away.
Yeah, fuck Teen Titans Go. It completely ruined Cartoon Network.
I'd
And
argue
people
it
gotta-
ruined the cartoon landscape, like in this decade, completely.
Exactly. Like, this decade could have at least been known for one thing. It could have at least had a decent era into Cartoon Network. But nope. Teen Titans Go and all these other shitty reboots like Thundercats, Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10, all of them, it's like it came in and completely ruined them. Ruined cartoons for this decade. And Cartoon Network in general.
Shout out to Redwall 316. In the early 2010s, the Cartoon Network had good shows that were loved by fans alike.
Yeah,
Young
people
Justice,
Yeah, Young Justice, Green Lantern.
2011, Green Lantern, yes. Symbiotic Titan, and
But because a
the
lot of those
Thundercats
shows didn't
remake, the
sell
first
enough
remake.
toys, they didn't get to be on TV long enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they had to wrap up stuff. And now they've all gone to do better things. Like, the Career of Regular Show is kind of making a successor to it, but like on TBS. I don't know if it's on yet, if it's been made or something, but yeah.
It's
Yeah,
still trying
Disney
to
X-
it's still an upcoming show. Apparently, they haven't like got a deal yet and stuff.
Okay. Thanks, Trevor.
No problem.
Disney XD is doing better. It is. I honestly, as the three, it's probably the best because I actually do like the DuckTales reboot.
the best.
Yeah,
It's kind of
They have
hard to
variety.
like cartoons of today with like half of the great shows are never on.
yeah.
I don't know what I find more annoying: Teen Titans Go and its oversaturation, or the people who waste their time bashing the show. It's kind of tied for me, really.
Well,
Because,
I mean,
like,
it's just
people keep giving it a lot of attention for like no reason other than because, ooh, I'm so angry, I gotta get views somehow. Because that's how, like, all thanks to people like Nostalgia Critic and Angry Video Game Nerd pretty much made this the norm on the internet. And Teen Titans Go being on the air too much pretty much ruins all the great shows that are on TV that want to be on more and want to actually try to make the show like actually have a bunch of episodes and stuff like that. And Teen Titans Go is
During the time of
they'll
its
put on.
25th anniversary, huh? During the
Yeah,
time of the
I mean,
25th anniversary.
to me,
right?
just wait till the movie comes out because I mean, if these people really hate it that much, they're gonna be true to themselves and they're not gonna watch the movie. They're not even gonna talk about it when it comes out. And the people that do watch it are probably gonna bash it, so it's probably gonna get like pretty bad. And that's gonna either A, force Cartoon Network to change, or B, they're gonna stick with their plan, but they're gonna lose a lot of money.
Since they got bought
My
out,
thing
since
is,
they got
like-
bought out by AT&T.
Here's my thing though about like I get that they want to air like shows that like make that like bring in a bunch of ratings and all that and sell merchandise, but like is there just such thing as too much with them, oversaturation possibly? Like this whole saturation thing is just really annoying. Like especially like whenever Steven Universe does come on and I have it recorded, instead, like, how, like, they'll have, like, a show and they'll list it under, like, the guide and you'll see that it's listed under that's what's on. And then when you go onto it, it's a completely different show. I cannot tell you how many times that's happened to me with Steven Universe and it just showed up as a episode of Teen Titans Go. It's very annoying.
That's why, it reminds me of Sonic Forces. Like, I'm so excited to fight Chaos and Shadow again in many years.
Seriously.
Then the game comes up and you don't get to fight Chaos and Shadow. That pissed me off.
I don't know what show is more oversaturated, SpongeBob or Teen Titans Go. Like, personally, like, oversaturating to a show is bad, of course, but it wouldn't necessarily make it be the reason why a show sucks, because it just seems dumb. But the saturation for Teen Titans Go is just too much. And that is, like, one of the only times I'm really going to talk about Teen Titans Go, just something I really wanted to get out of the way. Now I'm just going to pretend the show is completely irrelevant to my existence. Let's move on now to something more interesting.
Well, I mean, Jared, I think he want to talk about something because
All right.
Trying to think of it.
okay. Well, I mean, like I was, yeah, the '80s was a pretty big. Let's get on to what Cher was talking about. How the '80s was a pretty big age for movies, and I could probably look up like movies made in each year that were great, like best movies in 1980. Like I'm doing that right now. Dang it, I typed. All right, 980, but now I got the 1 in there, which is good. But let's see the films. Of course, there was I think that was the year Empire Strikes Back came out.
What year?
Yep.
1980.
Yeah, it
1980.
was.
It feels
All right.
like 1980.
So-
Arguably the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, but 1980 had The Empire Strikes Back, The Shining. Oh, dang it, it just refreshed itself for no reason. It also had the Blues Brothers movie, the first Friday the 13th movie, Superman 2, and Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's what came out
Raiders
in
of the Lost
19.
Ark came in 1980?
1981, Raiders of the
Oh.
Lost Ark was released.
Oh, my mistake. I thought you were still talking about 1980 for a second. I was like, whoa. So George Lucas made like 2 big movies in 1 year. That's crazy.
But yeah, but every other film, Superman 2, Friday the 13th, Blues Brothers, Star Wars, and The Shining, those 5 came out in 1980. See, we're already on the first year of the 80s, and 5 good films. Now let's go to 1981.
1981.
Dun 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 dun. That's the Super Smash Bros. Melee Adventure Mode music for all of you who don't recognize it.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
An
Yeah,
American
Raiders of
Werewolf-
Lost Ark.
An American Werewolf in London. I remember
Stripes. Stripes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stripes. Oh yes, I love that film. That
The
film
Fox and
is
the
just.
Hound.
Yeah.
Halloween 2.
that. Yeah.
Mad
Halloween
Max.
2.
Mad Max 2. That came out in 1981 too.
The Evil Dead came out that year.
Yes. Which is scarier,
Yeah.
that movie or The Exorcist?
I'd say The Exorcist, but I'm probably saying it out of biases that I've seen The Exorcist and I haven't seen Evil Dead yet.
But yeah, in that year we had the Evil Dead. We had the Evil Dead, American Werewolf in London, and Stripes, Mad Max 2, and Indiana Jones Raider of the Lost Ark. That was 1981. Now let's get on to 1982.
2.
I mean, I think we already listed 5
Blade
films
Runner.
from that. Yeah, Blade Runner. I think that one will definitely show up.
E.T., The Thing, Poltergeist, Tron, Rocky
Yep,
3.
we already
Any of
have
you like that
E.T..
movie?
Rocky 3.
Oh, Rambo came out that year.
Yeah,
First
E.T.,
Blood, it was titled.
Would you say
Blade.
Rocky 3 is good?
Runner, The Thing, Poltergeist. Yeah, there's Rambo,
Poltergeist.
First Blood.
First
Oh yeah,
Blood.
Poltergeist. First Blood was pretty good.
My favorite Friday the 13th movie came out that year.
And the
Conan Barbarian, Rocky 3. Yeah, a pretty big year for films.
Wait,
Yeah,
Pink
Tron
Floyd's
came
The
out-
Wall came out in 1982? Wow.
The
that's-
Wall.
Yeah, the
Pink
animated
Floyd, The
movie.
Wall.
Yeah, the animated movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's surprising. I thought it probably came out like the same year as the album came out, which is one of the greatest albums ever made.
Yeah. Yeah, we had Tron, we had Rocky 3, we had Conan the Barbarian, and we even had Rambo First Blood, Poltergeist, The Thing, Blade Runner, and E.T. in 1982. Now let's get to the gaming crash in 1983. Sorry, I had to make that joke.
Star Wars
and thanks for
Episode 6,
subscribing,
Return of the
Metal Gear.
Jedi. Easily.
Oh yeah, Return to the Jedi did came out that year. Oh hey, what's up, Future Mermac? What are your thoughts on Atari's new console? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that interested. If you're interested, that's fine, but there's nothing like that interests me. You know, no games or anything. I think it's just a. Correct me if I'm wrong. What's up, Mermac? Awesome Venom profile pic, by the way.
Wait, Atari's
Correct me
coming out
if
with a new console?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like they haven't made one since the mid '90s, and now they're making one. It's crazy. But what's up, Mermac? I'm gonna resend the link in case any of you guys want to join in, because I don't know if the link's still showing up for you. I hope they make like the text boxes for the things bigger, because I'm worried the links are just gonna get bigger to the point where I can't send them into the chat anymore. But yeah,
Anyways,
1983. Let's see.
Return of the Jedi.
See what?
The
Return of the Jedi. Oh yeah, I love that
Scarface.
movie.
Scarface.
Return of the Jedi. I can't remember if I know Trevor doesn't like this movie, but lots of people do. Christmas Story came out that year.
I didn't even say I hated this movie. What are you talking about?
Oh wait, that might have been somebody else. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
I love the Christmas Story.
I like that movie too. But yeah, Christmas Story, Scarface, Return of the Jedi.
Sudden Impact came out that year.
Yeah, Sudden Impact, The Meaning of Life by Monty Python's Meaning of Life, The Outsiders.
I like the Monty Python movies.
Yeah, Monty Python's a legend.
I gotta see that movie really badly. I gotta see The Holy Grail.
Yeah. Like, pretty good decade.
No,
I mean,
let's get
not...
to the next year. Can we go to the next year now?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go to 1984. 1984 it is. Dun 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 dun.
Ghostbusters and Gremlins right away, along with Temple of Doom,
Ghostbusters,
Nightmare on Elm Street, Karate Kid, Terminator.
Yeah, I mean, we got Ghostbusters, we got the Terminator, we got Temple of Doom. 3 legendary movies. 4 Karate Kid, Gremlin.
Ooh,
like we already got 5
year.
movies. Really great. Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Children of the Corn.
Yeah, Children of the Corn. Conan the Destroyer.
This is Spinal Tap.
Like, pretty good stuff. I mean, the first 5 films, I think 1984 might be the best film. I mean, not best year of 80s movies. Yeah, we're halfway there, guys.
It's kind of hard to choose, like, it's just non-stop good movies throughout the 80s.
I know. Like, I think the 90s might have, had it best in probably maybe music, probably.
Comparing the two, I could definitely see where you're coming from, but, like, 80s had heavy metal, like thrash metal, like Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, Iron Maiden, and Judas Priest.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, the 80s gave us really annoying pop music and the glam bands.
In 1985.
1985, Back to the Future, The Goonies, Breakfast Club. That's a movie I need to see.
Corey Margera doesn't like The Goonies.
Well, I mean, that's his. I don't know. He just like, it was like
it seems like he hates everything that's popular. Honestly,
see that?
But yeah, Back to the Future, The Breakfast Club, Rocky 4,
another Mad Max movie.
Yeah,
Pee-wee's
Commando,
Big Adventure.
Pee-wee,
Rambo,
Rambo.
First Blood.
Witness, that's a good movie. Another great active
Freddy's
Harrison Ford's.
Revenge.
The Black Cauldron.
Yeah,
The
Freddy's
Black
Revenge. Yeah, Black Cauldron.
Would-
Fright Night.
Let's see
Right.
what
Mask.
else.
No, wait, wrong Mask. Sorry. Well, it's not The Mask. I think The Mask was the 90s. But
Yeah, that was
Mad Max.
94.
Yeah, Mad Max. Like, yeah, pretty good year.
James
Yeah,
Bond
pretty-
movie. There's a James Bond movie. A View to Kill.
86, though, we had Labyrinth, Stand By Me, Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
1986.
Aliens. Let's see, what else?
Damn it, load.
Yeah, let's see what we had in 1986.
Great Mouse Detective. I heard that was a good movie.
Now, let's see how the chat's doing too.
Oh, there's a movie that inspired Kenny Omega's character, Cobra.
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 Yeah. The Sylvester Stallone movie, I believe that was the star of it. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. It was an action movie that was pretty hated at the time.
Yeah, 1994 was the best year for movies. I can see where you're talking about. I mean,
Yeah, just
I can
non-stop great movies.
well, he said 1994, but yeah, 1984 was probably the best year of 80s movies. But yeah, let's continue.
Now move on to 1987.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I love that movie. Aliens, Top Gun.
I heard Top Gun wasn't good.
The
It's
Fly.
actually I like Top Gun actually. Big Trouble in Little China. I love that movie. You know that surprisingly,
Back to
that's
School?
actually the movie that got me in the Highlander. Surprisingly, Big Trouble in Little China was the movie that got me into Mortal Kombat because I always thought the Thunder guy was Raiden. That Raiden was the Thunder guy that was in that movie. Like, oh hey, look, it's Raiden. I mean, if you watch the movie again and you look kind of at the character, you'll notice that they actually are kind of similar.
Should we move on to 1987?
Oh yeah, Labyrinth, the greatest movie of all time, featured David Bowie and Frank Oz. And anyone who
Two all-time
disagrees,
greats.
yeah,
Well,
Labyrinth
Bowie,
is a
one of my
perfect
all-time favorite
movie.
musicians.
I mean, there's nothing bad about it. Like his dance, magic dance.
87,
Okay.
Predator, The Princess Bride, Lethal Weapon, RoboCop. I don't know where you guys stand with Dirty Dancing, but I haven't seen it either. I
Wall
haven't
Street.
seen that movie. Dream
Full
Warriors,
Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. I
Yeah,
I mean, we're all-
finish Full Metal Jacket. I know
Oh,
you
that
guys
sucks.
really love the Evil Dead movies. The sequel came out in 87, actually.
Yeah, we got Full Metal Jacket. We got Lethal
There's a movie
Weapon. We
that
got
has the
Predator.
there's a movie that has
Two
the-
bad movies. Two bad movies were released that year: Jaws: The Revenge and Superman 4.
Oh gosh.
There's also there's a movie that has a Beatles song title, "Can't Buy Me Love."
Oh, hey, let's
Funny.
not forget, Spaceballs was released that year.
Hellraiser came out this year as well. That's a
It was
movie
a
I
pretty
never
good
got to
parody.
Nightmare on Elm
finish.
Street 3. Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yeah. Wall Street.
Ooh,
Nightmare on
Dream
Elm
Warriors
Street
was
3.
awesome. Some really awesome
Yeah,
stuff. that
Evil
happened.
Dead 2. Cops 2.
And
Running Man. Hellraiser. Nightmare 3. Like, pretty good stuff came out that year. So, now getting on to
88.
88.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Beetlejuice, Die Hard, and They Live right away. Oh, and The Land Before Time.
Yeah.
Kira, that's a movie I should definitely watch. That came out in '88.
Yeah, Die Hard came out, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out that year too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys mentioned that, but Die Hard,
Yeah,
Who
I
Framed
did.
Roger Rabbit,
I named off
Beetlejuice,
the big
Big,
ones like that.
Coming
Big,
to America.
that's a big one.
And now 1989, Batman,
Last-
The Last
last
Crusade, The Little Mermaid. Let's see what else.
Yeah.
1989.
Oh, Child's Play came out in 1988 too, and yeah,
It
I know
did?
you mentioned Land Before Time. Yeah, Child's Play came out in 1988, and another film that came out was Naked Gun. That came out.
Mm.
Yeah, and for getting on to 1989, yeah, Batman came out that year. My second favorite movie of all time,
What's your first?
Terminator 2.
Where does Empire Strikes Back rank?
Oh yeah, The Last Crusade came out.
Mhm.
Empire Strikes Back is probably my fifth favorite movie. Back to the Future Part 2 came out in 1999. I mean, not 1999, 1989. Lethal Weapon 2, Ghostbusters 2,
Back to the Future Part 2.
Bill and Ted, Little Mermaid, Pet Cemetery, Turner and Hooch.
Now you see why I say the 80s were the best for movies?
Yeah, The Burbs, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah, I can see, because
Arguably,
you at least would have like 5 or 6 good movies each year.
yeah.
I was actually thinking of kind of making that video, like the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, the golden age of movies, with part 1 being the 80s, part 2 being the 90s, and part 3 being the early 2000s. And just kind of an overall conclusion.
I mean, the 90s did have some really amazing movies, of course, but, like, there was a period where summer movies were just bad. And most of the best movies are mostly from, like, the early to mid-90s, or, like, the underground ones that became hits later on.
Should we go to 1990?
No, that's not part of the 80s, but the 80s was like probably the golden age of movie, because again, you at least had 6 films each year.
We could go over the 90s if you want.
Yeah, I guess. Blob is a very underrated movie. Oh yeah, I've heard about Blob. Well, I think we mentioned Rambo Part 1 and Rambo Part 2, and we didn't like really see Predator and Alien, but yeah, those are good ones too. The Aliens and Predator. Well, okay, we mentioned Aliens and Alien, but we didn't mention any of the Predator movies. But I think that was like 1985, the first Predator movie at least, or something. Yeah, Blob is. I've heard good things about Blob, but yeah, it's not the most like well-known movie. But Home Alone came out in 1990. If you guys want to start.
Well,
On that.
anyways,
Back to the Future, the
I'm
third
actually
come
gonna
out.
go now. It was fun talking to you guys.
All right, we should probably end this off.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
All
was
right,
nice
later.
we'll do
being.
96.
Bye.
Bye.
Another day.